This week on American Grindstone, we sit down with Shanelle Chhuon. Shanelle is a mom, an insurance adjuster full-time, and a self-described mother of mayhem. That's her clothing company, but it's also her life. So we sat down with her to learn about being a mom and creating your own business, as well as some principles of overcoming ADHD and how you can apply those to your life to be a doer. Let's check it out.
The Grindstone.
My sonny boy kept his nose to the grindstone.
Never give up, never surrender.
Shanelle, welcome to the show. We're so glad to have you here.
Thank you. Excited to be here.
I'm a big fan of your brand, Mother of Mayhem. I keep wanting to add an S to it because I know a lot of
There's
mothers that live
us.
in the mayhemic moments.
Yep.
Tell us a little bit about yourself. Tell us where you grew up.
Yep. Grew up in Blaine, Washington. Good old Blaine.
Okay.
Born and raised. Went to Blaine school, kindergarten through 12th grade. So I have my best friends today that I had, preschool, kindergarten.
Wow.
Yep.
Oh, that's nice.
Yep.
What
that's
was
so easy. I wish I had that.
childhood like for you? Like, were you a creative kid? Were you an athletic kid? Were you a...
Yeah, I was an athletic kid.
Uh-huh.
Grew up in a blue-collar family. My dad hustled hard. He had his own construction company for 17 years. So he pushed us to, do our best at everything. Pushed me into sports, which I hated.
Okay.
Yeah.
Looking back now, I appreciate it because, I think he was instilling hard work in me and my siblings. But, yeah, athletic. As a young kid, I wasn't really creative. I don't think that started until I was in, middle school, high school, until I started going through, the teenage stuff.
Yeah.
And then just issues, anxiety, depression hit, and then I really got creative. I turned to art to express myself because I'm even today, I like a homebody and I don't like to talk too much about my struggles, so I didn't want to tell my parents anything. So I just turned to art, and that was my creative outlet. And by I think my senior year, 3 of my 6 periods in school were art, art, advanced placement art, independent art. I just wanted to do it all. And so, yeah.
What's been your favorite medium to create in?
It used to be drawing. Now it's shirts, obviously.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it like the coming up with the design of the shirts, or is it like the screen printing?
It's the
on
putting
there?
it all together. I love the physical. My husband's like, you can outsource some of your work. I'm like, that would make things easier and I'd probably save some time and some money, but I actually like the whole creative process, like coming up with the design, picking out the shirts, and actually physically putting it on the shirt myself.
Yeah.
So,
Oh, that's great.
yeah.
And everyone gets that then too,
Yeah.
right? Which
Yep.
is nice.
Yep.
So you've got 4 kids.
Yep.
Tell us about your kids. How old are they?
A lot of kids. I've got, my oldest is almost 12. Then I've got a set of twins that are 14 months younger than she is. And then my little baby's almost 3.
Wow.
Finally got a boy. The older 3 are girls. So, yep. It's mayhem.
You're very
Yeah.
busy. It's
Yep.
mayhem.
Always busy.
Yeah.
Yep.
And so you're a full-time mom, but you have a full-time
I work
job.
full time. Yep.
What do you do there?
I work for Peace Health and insurances, basically.
Okay, that's all we need to talk about that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
I won't have a clue.
I do not.
I won't
Yeah.
have a clue.
Not very exciting.
We talk
It pays
about
the bills.
insurance, it's going to get, we're going to lose listenership.
It's a great job. I enjoy it. I get
Yeah.
to work from home.
Oh,
So
that's lovely.
I do like
That's
that. Yeah.
lovely.
Yep.
That's
Especially with a 3-year-old too. I have a 3-year-old at home boy, and
Yeah.
I know what that means of just like,
My son is
what are
crazy.
you getting into
Oh
right
yeah.
now?
I'm
Yeah.
up every 5 minutes yelling
Yeah.
at the kids.
Yeah.
It's always, well, I told you about mess making. This is not
Yep.
what we're doing. But then you're like, well, all right, I'll jump in there with you. What are we doing? Yeah.
Yep. He'll come sit on my lap while I'm working, and
Oh,
Yeah.
that's great.
he'll help. I'll try to make content for Mother of Mayhem while I'm working, just
Yeah.
this is my life. And so he'll be sitting there, and now he's getting into Mom, can we make a video? Let's tell him what we're going to make for breakfast.
Yeah,
I'm
I
like,
saw
okay.
the breakfast one the
Yeah,
other
yeah.
day.
But I'm like, I actually have to do my paying full-time job. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Gosh,
Tell
what
me-
a balance. What a balance.
I know. It's
Yeah,
a lot.
that's a lot.
That's a lot.
Tell me a little bit about where Mother of Mayhem came from.
So a couple years ago, my husband got me a Cricut for Christmas, and I had no clue. I was like, this is super cool. I just want to make stuff, but I didn't know what. And then there was another local girl making shirts. She slowly started making shirts, and I was like, that's super cool. I really want to do that. I ended up being a brand ambassador for her. And in that time, it's Western Belle. Love her, Barb. She's great. During that time of my ambassadorship, I was like, okay, I know for sure that I want to make shirts. So as soon as I'm done with my ambassador thing, I'm for sure gonna start my own business. And I give her the heads up. I was like, my style is completely different. She's very Western country. Mine's edgier, I would say.
Yeah.
More like punk. I don't know. So what the heck was your what was the question? I
Why
go
did
off on a
you
rant.
tell me about how it started?
How it started?
Yeah, what got
Mother
you
of
into
Mayhem.
it?
So I don't remember how or why I came up with the name. I knew I wanted to take mom because I wanted it to be mostly focused on moms and the chaos of motherhood and embracing it, I was like, okay, what acronym can I make out of mom? And it I think was the first thing that came to me. I was like, Mother of Mayhem. I was like, is that M.O.M? Yep, it works. And I went to my husband.
Oh my God.
I always go to him with stuff because he's very honest with me, and he's like, I actually love that. That's badass.
Yeah.
So I was like,
from the first sound of it, it's fantastic.
Mother of Mayhem.
Like it's meant to be. Yeah.
And so he's asked me, he'll challenge me too. He's like, so what is like your mission statement? I don't have a mission statement, but my thing is normalizing the hot mess mom, because you see everything on social media is so like filtered. It's a highlight reel, right?
Yes.
And it's great. The moms that are making, the little bento box lunches with the cutout cheeses and all this cute little snacks and stuff.
Yes.
That's not me.
Yeah.
I can admire them for that, but no, my kids I'm like, get an Uncrustable out of the freezer, grab a juice box, let's get out the door. We got to go somewhere. So it's like,
and the struggle of like becoming one of those parents. Like we did that. We have those lunch
bento
pails.
boxes.
We did the star
Yep.
cheese and the dinosaur
and no
shapes.
hate
Like,
to
I know
that.
exactly what you're talking about.
It's cute. I love it.
But no, it's
so hard. It's not
so
sustainable.
it's so
It's not.
unsustainable.
Yes.
And then you feel like even worse when you're not doing that, and you're like. So I appreciate what you're doing. I know that we've all tried to live up to those expectations. A lot of people out there, and then we fall short, and then we feel less about ourselves.
You do.
And our
You kind of hate
parenting.
on yourself, and it takes a toll on you. And I think that after COVID, especially, like I used to work in an office, and then they sent us all home when COVID hit, and so I was not wearing makeup every day. I'm not getting dressed every day, and it was like I used to feel so upset about it and be like, I'm just like gross. I feel gross. I look gross. Whatever. But now I'm like, no, let's make this acceptable. Like I'm going out in sweatpants and a hoodie and no makeup. Hair in a messy bun. 3 years ago, oh God, never. Like I would have had to take the time to get ready, but now I'm like, it ain't worth it. It's just not. I'm just owning it. It is what it is. And I want more people to be comfortable to be like that, because I'm like, life's too short. Like my kids are fed. They know that they're loved. They've got a warm bed to sleep in at night.
Yeah.
They don't need all the fancy little, sorry girl, you don't need all the fancy little lunches and stuff.
Yeah.
Well, it's true. And if you're trying to make, clean up the mess constantly, like my wife always says this, she's always, the dishes in the sink will get done, and like the laundry's going to get done, but kids don't keep. But they have I'll have an expiration date, but they all get older, right? And you miss out on these opportunities or these moments if you're like so just like involved in yourself and cleaning and doing all of that.
The long to-do list.
It's gonna be mayhem.
I feel like I wished, like when my kids were younger, I always like, oh my God, I can't wait till you're this age so we can do this. And now that I have such an age gap between my kids, and now that my son is almost 3, it makes me so sad because I'm not having any more kids. He's my last. 4 kids is more than enough. I love them all, but it's so much work.
It's funny.
But I'm like, it's so sad. Like you don't get that time back. So like, just I enjoy it while I can.
Yeah.
And it's chaos, but you just have to embrace it.
Yeah. Oh, I love it.
What did you say? You said you want to normalize the
hot mess mom.
The hot mess.
I'm
mom.
always like, I'm just such a hot mess. But and I used to get really down on myself about it, but I think it's just unnecessary pressure on yourself. Like nobody is going to, like if I go out in public in sweatpants and a hoodie, like nobody at the store is going to remember that. They're not going to go home and be like, oh my God, I remember this chick that I just saw at the grocery store. Like, are you kidding? Unless I'm really bad, but most of the time, like, people aren't going to remember that. So
no, there's not going to be a TMZ article. They're not coming out being like, would
I mean,
you
yeah.
have you?
Come on. Don't count me out
That's what we're
yet.
striving for.
Yeah.
So with Mother of Mayhem, what kind of apparel are you creating? I mean, we're wearing
rocking the hoodie.
We're rocking the hoodie.
Mine's average moms.
Yep.
Not the worst mom, but could be better.
Oh, I like that.
My favorite thing.
Honestly, so this hoodie right now that you and I are wearing, it's the only hoodie that I'm selling on my website. I've been completely redoing my website because I took the last year or so off because I got so caught up in like following all these other small businesses and like, oh my God, they're putting out so many new designs. I got to keep up. I got to put out all these designs. So I was skimping on, I think, quality, and I was just throwing out random designs. There was no rhyme or reason to it.
Yeah.
And my husband would ask me a lot, like, what's your vibe? What are you going for? Because you're kind of all over the place right now. You're doing these holiday designs, but I don't feel like it fits like your vibe, your style. And at first I was offended a little bit by it because I was like, I'm just trying to like, sell all these shirts. But then I really took the time to think about it, because when I sat down at the end of the year and I looked at what I spent on the business versus what I profited, I was like, okay, this is right now just a very expensive hobby that sometimes people buy from. The other thing I did too was a lot of like custom orders. People would message me with custom orders and I would undercut myself all the time because I'm just learning as I'm doing. I'm teaching myself everything. So I would be like, I don't know. And I want people to buy from me. I'm trying to be nice, but I'm like, I'm not making a profit. I'm just doing you a favor at this point.
Yeah.
So I took a year off to think about things, look at things, like be like, okay, this is my style. It's not going to be for everybody. I have a very specific, like, I saw a saying the other day, or a term, y'alternative. Because like I said, I grew up blue collar, so I have a little country in me. I love me some Morgan Wallen.
Sure.
But I also, like, me and Giana on the way here, we're rocking out to Bad Omens. I love Blink 182, Green Day, all the kind of alternative metal bands. And that's more my style. That's how it was kind of growing up as a teenager. But the people that I hung out with and had in my life, during those phases would kind of, like, not really make fun of me for it, but a little bit.
Yeah.
And my family especially, they're like,
just didn't relate to it.
Yeah, they didn't relate to it.
I'm a Blink kid, and it would always be like, turn that garbage off.
Oh, I
And I'm
know.
like, listen.
Come on, it's good.
Best drummer in the world right
for
here. What are
real.
you talking about? Like,
seriously. So just at my age, I'm 34 now, and I'm like, I don't care. I'm just going to be myself. I'm going to put out designs that I like I'm creating my own designs. I'm not just finding random designs off Etsy anymore and slapping them on a shirt and putting them out there. Yeah. And like, no hate to people that do that, because there are some small businesses that do that and they're very successful at it. But for me, I want to be like authentic to myself and my lifestyle, and I want people to relate to that. And if the shirts sell, then they sell, and if not, I'm just happy like creating the things.
Yeah.
So.
And it keeps you from burnout too. Like, especially when you're not necessarily enjoying it, or like it seems like it's getting repetitive. You're like, well, I don't want to do this right now. It's just
it became like almost like a burden. Like, I created this because it was something that I enjoyed, and then it got to a point where I was putting so much pressure on myself, and I was like, this sucks. Like, this is not why I started this. So
just you turn on Adam's song and just like, this is terrible.
Get all emo.
Tell me, then how do you define success in this job? Like, is it success for you to make a lot of money? Is it success for you to, what does that look like? How do you measure that in this season?
I mean, honestly, I want to make money doing this business. I want it to be a successful business, because I think that I want to pass it down to my girls if it's something that they're interested in. My husband asked me a really good question the other day. I bring him up a lot because he's been sort of like a mentor to me. He's very entrepreneurial himself. Yeah. And he will always shoot me straight. I appreciate him for that. And so he asked me the other day, are you a creator or are you an entrepreneur? Because you don't have hundreds of thousands of dollars in sales. He's like, if somebody offered you $5 million to create for your business or run the business, which would you choose? And I was like, dang, that's a good question.
Like, good. He's good.
Yeah, he's good. I was like, I would want to create, because I love, like I said earlier, I love creating the design. I love the physical act of putting it on a shirt. I created my own website from the ground up. I like doing that. And the thing is too, like, I just want to be a part of all of it, because I'm a little bit of a control freak, but I want to know that it's to my standard, like, the standards that I set for my business. And I don't know. I like all of it.
Yeah.
I love that answer too. I mean, it is the perfect question for him to ask you. Like, are you in it to step back from it, or are you going to dive all the way into it? And I love that.
Because right now I work full time and it helps pay the bills. I have a full time job, so I'm not relying on Mother of Mayhem to do that for me. Yeah. Eventually I would like to, but they say, like, once you work for yourself, you work way more than 40 hours a week, which is fine with me. And that's, I was working full time, and then when the kids would go to bed at night, I would stay up till 2-3 in the morning pressing shirts and making the designs and stuff. Yeah. So it would be nice if that's what it turned into, but I don't rely on it, and I don't put that pressure on it. If it happens, it happens, and I'll be super happy with it, but I don't put that weight on it right now.
Realistic expectations. I like that.
So you would say, your definition of success is just the enjoyment of what you're doing, creating and building that. You would say that a way that you kind of manage it in this season is to really not put pressure on yourself to make it anything more than what it is.
It's almost like a form of self-care for me, because being a wife and a mom and working full-time, you don't get a lot of time to yourself. And so it's a way that I can be creative and take care of myself, but also make a little bit of money and, help in that way a little bit. So I guess, that's success to me right now.
Yeah. Now, I met you year and a half ago, maybe. We were both coaching opposite teams, our daughter's softball teams. We won. And
it was my first year coaching. Give me a break.
Mine too.
And I was way more shy back then.
There's a scoreboard somewhere there.
But we met through that,
Yep.
and then I saw your brands that you were creating, and I was like, "This is super cool."
Oh, it's amazing.
I would wear my hoodies to the games. I'd be like, if anybody has
Yeah.
questions, meet me
First-
in the dugout after the game.
Yeah,
When he wore this, I was like, "What do you got
Yeah.
there, man?"
yeah. Well, I reached out to her like,
That's the first dad design that I did. He's like, hey, if you made that, and I was like, you know what? I never thought about it because I'm so like mom focused.
Centric,
Like,
yeah.
I was like, that's a good. And then I made the design and I pressed the shirt and I was like, damn, that looks really good.
Do
I
you
like
make
it.
this now then?
Yeah.
Oh, fantastic!
love it.
I gotta get
I
more
reached
of
out to her
them.
and I was like,
Yeah.
if you made a dad one, I'd wear it.
Yeah, yeah.
Say
yeah.
less. In
Yeah.
5 days, I was like, your shirt's on your porch. Here
It
you go.
literally-
It was a little longer than that, but
No, it wasn't
still-
much.
I
It
try to be
showed
quick.
up on my porch.
Yep.
I was
That was
pretty
amazing.
I
impressed.
try to be quick with
Yeah.
the turnaround time.
Now, so we were coaching, and I think your oldest daughter was playing. Your 12-year-old.
Well, all three of them. And
okay. Same team.
I think they're on the same team just because it's
Okay.
easier. I'm always like, please
yeah.
just put them on the same team.
Yeah, yeah.
Less
Okay.
all around town for me. So
That would have
yeah.
been it. Yeah, my daughter was playing.
Yep.
On the opposite team that we won, and
Okay, rub it in.
I'm just gonna.
but
In the beginning of this, when we filmed that, you need to be like, by the way, I won.
Just for the record.
And now you know when we film that.
now you clearly I was like, well, she's super busy. What is it like? Do you include your kids in what you do? Is this just
Yeah.
kind of like your little thing on the side? Like,
No, they always want to help.
talk to me about being a mom
Yeah.
and a business owner.
They always want to help. They see me. I use Canva for a lot of my designs. And so they're like, Mom, can I get on Canva? And they'll be like, okay, come here. I have all these shirts that I need you to make. And I'm like, okay, well, we're going to fine tune this a little bit. But when I was using, now I use a lot of like screen print transfers because the quality is better. You can have more detail with those. But in the beginning, I was using just my Cricut and iron on vinyl. And so they would ask, like, they want to weed the vinyl, peel out the negative spaces
Yeah.
or whatever. So they were my little weeders. They'd come in and they'd be peeling. I'm like, you got to pick up the pace. Come on. Like, I appreciate it. But
Essentially running
quicker,
a mom's
please.
sweatshop.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
It literally, because the heat press gets so hot, and I was doing it in my bedroom.
Yeah.
My son's asleep on the bed there, and I'm like, we gotta be quiet, and it's so hot. I'm like, I need you to hurry up. I gotta get this order shipped off to Montana. Like, please,
Yeah.
come on.
I've been there with the dental tools,
Yes,
like picking it
yes.
out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
It's so much. It's kind of fun. It's kind of, I don't know.
It
If
is
that's maybe like an
weirdly fun.
ADHD
It's
thing.
weirdly
Like,
fun.
Yeah.
yeah. But no, they love to help. They
Yeah.
want it. They always have design ideas, and they want to be a part of it. So
Yeah.
it's cool for me.
Heck yeah, it is.
Yeah.
That's amazing. I ended up with the Cricut machine this summer,
Mm-hmm.
and so I've been like, my daughter and I bought this really ugly truck called Ugly Betty. I needed like a cheap, really dependable truck.
Yeah.
And my daughter said, if we're gonna call it Ugly Betty, we need to put a picture of a Betty on the side of it. So
Oh,
we
I love
did
that.
like we designed a skull and crossbones in Illustrator, and then we put like a bow tie on it. And we did it hot pink. So we cut it
Oh
on
my
the
God.
Cricut, put it on the side of the truck, spray painted it hot pink, and then pulled that off, and then
Oh, that's cool.
painted the whole truck
Yeah.
black. And so you have this pop and hot pink little skull
So
on the side.
funny.
Ryan and I painted it together.
Nice.
It's fun.
So I love that. What you can do with that is
Yeah.
so neat.
There's
Oh,
so
yeah.
many things you can
My-
do with a Cricut. I
My
don't
wife, that's all she's doing. And we do trips to Disneyland. So
Yeah.
then we do the matching shirts.
Yeah.
Where it's like
Love
bright
that.
orange one day. And I know I
You're
say
a
that's so
trooper.
shame. But like, I'll be honest, when you're out there and you're like, today's bright orange, you look down and then you just count the heads of everyone around you.
Yeah.
Like, this is the
Oh,
most
yeah.
amazing. But she does the whole like Star Wars themes for the boys
Oh,
with
that's
their
cute.
name. And then everyone gets a customized one.
love
So
that.
my family is 5 people. My brother's is 5 people. Her and my sister-in-law, they do them all in
That's
like
amazing.
a week.
That's
And they have to
crazy.
do it in secret without the kids finding out because we always do a
Oh,
surprise.
Surprise. We're going to Disneyland.
It is a lot
That's
of late
cute.
nights of me doing
Yes.
that picking.
Yep.
Of the,
So
God
funny.
bless them
I
all,
love
and
that.
all the moms doing that.
God
with
bless
their
the
kids
moms.
and the dads
And the husbands that help.
Yeah.
And
the
the dads.
mothers of mayhem.
Yep.
And the mothers of Mayhem. Yeah.
Heck yeah.
You share pretty openly on social media about having ADHD,
Mm-hmm.
and having recently been diagnosed with that, I understand the challenges that come with that. Why don't you talk to me a little bit about maybe how this scratches an itch and helps you manage your ADHD, or how you do a business while having that?
Yeah. And I should say I'm not like formally diagnosed. It's just self-diagnosed. But I think like I look at my mom and I think she for sure has it. And I do have a daughter that is diagnosed, but we don't medicate her because she was just like full zombie mode all day and we didn't like that. So
Yeah.
it was after her diagnosis and then again looking at familial history, I'm like, I think I might have ADHD. Also like mom brain is so similar. I have to write everything down. I have so many different notebooks with so many lists. And I like, we'll start off, I'll try to keep them separate. Here's business, here's work notes, here's like grocery list and to-do list. And then 2 days in, it's like, oh my God, where was that? Like I wrote that design idea in my work notes. Like, oh my God, what am I doing? Yeah, I have to write everything down and just be so disciplined because I'm not medicated. I don't know.
Me neither.
Yeah, I just live through it. But yeah, it's a lot of discipline, a lot of reminders. I have a great community of people. You know, my family. I have a big family. My husband's he's such a good guy. Like, you can do that. You don't need to be medicated. Like, you can do this. He's always, because when I first met him, I was heavily medicated for anxiety, depression, and I was miserable on it. And like, honestly, would drink quite a bit. I was just like not in a great place. And so he was like, you don't need that. Like, you can do this. You're a strong woman. And I never had anybody like that before. I only had people like relationships and whatnot that would bring me down. And he's the first person that came and was like, you can do this without medication. So he's always been a big advocate for that. Yeah. And I used to doubt myself a lot. And now I just push through it. So again, I think it's just writing everything down and making sure I go back to those lists. If I didn't write things down, I would be
in a world of hurt.
Even more of a hot mess than I am right now.
Do you feel like the process of designing and creating and designing new things, that also helps you manage that a little bit?
Yeah, for sure. I'm all over the place with that because I'll start one design and then I'll be like, oh, I have an idea for another one. And so I'll have like 5 different designs going at the same time. And then I was so happy. I cranked this one out so fast, like start to finish. And I was like, oh, I love this design. But I mean, I don't know. I think having multiple designs going at the same time helps for me because it allows my brain to be like, bing, bing.
What was different about the you just shared the one design that you really, like, you just kind of went straight through start to finish. What was different about that or that process as opposed to maybe some of the other ones that are half done? Or
I don't know. I just feel like all the pieces of it just came together so perfectly. There were a couple things that I was like, okay, the design is done. And then I'd look at it and be like, there's like maybe one little thing I want to change, but overall it just came together so well. Also, I think I'm just very critical of myself, and I'll look at a design and be like, are people gonna like that? Like, do I really like that? I don't know. And I just not put it out.
You're not sold on it. You're like, it doesn't go.
And they just sit there.
So how do you push past that to put something out?
Gosh, that would be hard. That would be hard.
It is
for
hard.
me.
Yeah. Well, honestly, I don't put out, like I said, I took the last year or so off. I'm just now starting to pick back up and put out content. It's kind of hard for me because with other businesses, you know, I don't want to say the term, but other businesses that weren't really like my own businesses that I was trying to become a part of just weren't so genuine, and they tell you like you got to post at least 5 stories a day and get this content out. And for me, that's not genuine, and so I don't put out a whole lot of content. I'm trying to kind of make myself do that now, but I don't.
It's a weird line. That's a weird line too.
Because
we're all getting used to that social media as well, and like getting to like, yes, I have to put this content to sell things, but at the same time, like, I don't really want to do that, and that doesn't feel genuine, and like, it's this new world we're in about that, you know.
I think and I won't if it doesn't feel genuine. I'm not going to force myself to do it because I want people to buy my things because they're like, dang, that's like the brand. It's a lifestyle. I don't want them to be like, she's posting again. Like, fine, I'll buy the shirt. Like, no, I'm just gonna post stuff that's genuine and doesn't feel forced.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Well, I think
like a lot of people that do that. To be honest with you,
I think the thing that's so relatable that you do, like making your son breakfast the other day with him on your lap. I had a good laugh because it was like, let's open up this little package of
what you're gonna do first. Take the Bluey fruit snacks. Yeah,
and then we're gonna open up the other. You know, we're opening up 2 packages, and that's literally breakfast right now because mom is working a full-time job, right?
Yeah.
Like, I just liked that. Yeah. That spoke into the brand, right? Like, it didn't need to be produced. It didn't need to have great soundtracks. It didn't need to have all that kind of, like, it just needed to be. Yep. This is the chaos that I live in.
The hot mess. I don't want to say dumpster fire because it's not a dumpster fire, but the hot mess. Yeah.
Yeah. No need to polish it up.
Yeah. No. Yeah. I'm not trying to church it up. On my lunch break today, like I did some content. I was like, I should be filming this right now because I'm literally like, the kids are running around screaming. I'm making them lunch on my lunch break. I'm like eating leftovers, trying to get them taken care of. I was like, Mom, I need this. I'm like, I have to go clock back in. Just give me a second. I'll be right back. And I was like, this is real. And this is what I want people to relate to and not be so hard on themselves. Like, think that they have to be perfect because, like I said, social media is a highlight reel and it's not reality. Yeah. I mean, maybe for some it is, but for the majority of us, it's just not.
No, it's not.
Yeah. And you feel so alone with thinking it is. I love hearing that. Like, you know, you're using, like you kind of were saying earlier, you're using something that, you know, where its energy is maybe awkward or what have you when you first were starting to do art and everything, but you took that energy and put it into creativity, and then out comes, you know, maybe some years later, but out comes all this, right? I love that.
Yeah.
I love those stories. Take that energy,
Thanks.
take your weird energy
Yep.
or awkward energy, shift it somewhere else, and
Yeah.
come out with something. That's all I'm saying to the
And I am
people here.
so awkward, and I'm like happy to be that. Like, I used to be like nervous to be myself, and I'm like, whatever, I'm weird. I really don't care.
Yeah.
Truly.
I'll be awkward online, but that's me. So
Yeah.
what it is, what it
Truly.
is. I'm not going to try to change anymore.
We're embracing it today.
Yeah.
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 I know him. My kid, I'm so weird. I'm looking at him right now. I'm the weirdest guy. I'm through the lens. They're not here, but
Yeah. That was weird.
that was weird. See, I
a
had an
little
awkward
weird.
It
moment,
wasn't
as
weird
if
for
my
me.
kids
I'm
are
like,
off
no,
here.
this is
But
comfortable.
through the lens. Hey, if you're watching this, go
My
to bed.
kid's over there. She's like,
Yeah.
my mom is weird.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
Tell me about handling self-doubt in the creative process, and I just want to kind of dive into that a little bit more, because I'm hearing, you know, some of the things that you've shared that you've struggled with, and then what you create out of it, but also kind of in the midst of the frenzy of everything else. Tell me about, like, what does that look like in your life? How does that manifest itself, and what does it look like to come on the other side of it?
Self-doubt. Yeah, I used to be, like I said, super hard on myself, deal with like anxiety, depression a lot. And I just cared so much. I think what other people thought about me, but you just get to a point in your life where you can't care. Like, life, you have to live. You have I have 4 kids. I got to take care of my kids, and I don't want them to see that growing up. Like, I'm not going to be so down on myself, because to live life, you have to make mistakes, and you've got to learn from those mistakes. And so, especially in a business where you're putting yourself out there, I was so critical of myself and comparing myself to all the other small businesses. But yeah, over the last year that I've taken off to reflect, I'm going to be like genuine to myself. I don't know. I think it just comes with age and, what's the word? Experience.
Yeah.
It comes with experience. You just get to a point where it's not worth it to, worry so much about.
And this is enough.
Yeah.
To be it gets to a point where living is enough. You're like, oh, all right. This is
Like,
good.
I'm just so happy with my life. Like, I've got a great husband. I have 4 amazing kids, a
Yeah.
very supportive family, and like, I don't really need anything else. I have my creative outlet, and my family supports me on that. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Are you are you making every night like kind of things, or do you set up like a schedule for yourself where it's like, all right, weekdays I do this,
Yeah.
weekends are off?
No, I'm really bad about that. I'll do it when I get to it. Like,
That's ADHD.
the last couple
That
nights
is.
I've been in bed working on my website. My son's watching YouTube on my phone, and I'm on
Yeah.
the computer working on my website, trying to get it just right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I dialed it.
Little things that need tweaking, that I think need tweaking. Yeah. No. And I've told myself that so many times. Like, okay, I need to have like set hours, it's always been at night when the kids are in bed, because I'm not going to sit there and do that, unless it's on a weekend.
Yeah.
If we're just hanging out at home on a Saturday, I might hop on my phone or my computer and work on some designs. But usually it's when the kids are in bed during the week that I'll work on it.
Yep. That's what I've done for years.
Yep.
Is all my
Yeah,
side
me
stuff starts at 10 o'clock at night when
Yep.
everybody goes to bed.
Yep.
And that's the time you have.
Yep.
Right.
Exactly.
We're gonna post your website in our description, in the show notes for this,
Sweet.
so that people can go check out your stuff, and
Yeah.
we'll put your social on there and stuff
Cool.
as well. Is there anything else that you feel like as a mom, like if you thought about like all the moms all
Yeah.
the advice
Yeah.
that you've received and been given over the years, what stands out to you as something maybe you'd want to share to other moms that are thinking about legitimately starting
a business.
a side business? Yeah.
Just do it. You just have to start doing it, because in the beginning I was trying to research everything and like know everything there was, but then like in certain things I would read, you just have to start doing it. You're not going to know everything all at once. And so I taught myself through the process, like, okay, here's my little website. It's not great, but I'm going to publish it. Here it's live. And then I'll, because then like it's, people start looking, they can see what you're doing, and then you work as it's live. I don't know. You just have to start. Don't doubt yourself.
Yeah.
People are going to judge you, I think, no matter what, but you just have to get to a point where you don't care. If it makes you happy, who cares what other people think? Like, yeah.
If it makes you happy. Huh?
It can't be that bad.
My man came in
So
and
great.
over forget it.
You're welcome.
I thought I was going to sit alone in that.
And I paused for a minute because I was trying to remember the next word. I was like, is this
Your
Sheryl
pause
Crow?
scared me.
Or
I
is
was
this
like,
Alanis
is you-
Morissette? No, this is Sheryl Crow.
It's the crow, baby.
Yeah, I'm all for it. I'm all for it.
Love it.
Shanelle, thank you so much
Thank
for
you.
being with us.
Thank
I think
you guys.
you know you're. I love what you're doing,
Thanks.
and we
Me
love
too.
bringing people on the show that do things that I love.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So no, but really, like, I think that of all the guests we've had so far, I mean, what you are doing is highly relatable to so many people.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And I think it's an inspiration. And I think that idea of just do it,
Yeah.
like, it's not the Nike slogan, right? Like,
Just do it
it's
scared.
literally,
Yeah. You just have to start.
you have to start.
Yep.
I have met so many people over the years that are frozen in the idea
Yes.
Yeah.
and have not been able to take that next step. It's scary.
Well,
you know?
momentum creates momentum. Once you start and you get going, you're going to keep going.
Yep.
So just
I've never
jump in.
heard that before. I like
I've read
that.
a lot of self-help books.
And she'll be back next week.
on
there
next
a-
week's episode.
Is there a book that you'd recommend to moms out
Yeah.
there?
Oh my gosh,
or
you're
to
putting me
people
on the
out there?
spot.
Yeah.
The new Britney Spears' book was a delight to read.
Oh,
I
wow.
loved it.
I have not read that. I probably won't read
Pretty
that.
sweet.
I'm about to read The Entrepreneur Roller Coaster.
That's
Okay.
a better
My
book.
husband's
read that
read
one.
it, said it's great. I'm gonna read that next.
Yeah.
I don't know. I've read so many that there's not one. Also, you're putting me on the spot,
Yeah.
so I'm like, I don't know. I'll
Yeah.
DM you later when I think of it. It was this book.
Entrepreneur roller coaster, we
Yes.
think.
Yep.
And
Yep.
we'll put whatever book you send me
Yep.
later.
Yeah.
I'll throw in the show
Yep.
notes for people as well.
Mel Robbins, she's a big inspiration.
Okay.
I read and watch a lot of her stuff. So
I just got signed up with Masterclass, and I'm watching.
familiar.
Yeah, it's like a online like learning
Mm-hmm.
platform.
Steve Martin will teach you comedy
Yeah.
and all that kind of
There you
stuff.
Yeah, Aaron Franklin teaches you barbecue and things like that.
Cool. I
And
didn't
like,
know that one.
I'm the first one I'm doing is the creator of Spanx.
oh, nice.
Because she built this $1 billion business
Yeah.
Yep.
as a side hustle,
Crazy.
and she talks about kind of branding and entrepreneurship. And
All for that.
I had to look up Spanx, so I'm not familiar with
Yeah.
them, but I was familiar with her business and her story, and so
I'm wearing them now.
yeah. Well, I mean, we have to.
Yeah,
The camera
so-
adds.
I wasn't
Yeah,
gonna
that's what I'm
ask,
saying.
but-
You're
Spanx
wondering
takes
how
off five.
why I look so
Yeah.
slim. It's the Spanx.
Not
Like
sponsored.
those.
We,
Yeah.
yeah. We are not endorsed by Spanx, though we could be.
could
We
be.
could be. That camera,
We
that
could
camera,
be.
If you
that
guys are
camera.
interested.
Yeah, please.
Well, good. Shanelle, thank you so much for
Yeah,
being
thank
here
you for
with us.
having me.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
It was fun.
Thanks for not sucking at what you do.
I tried
Yeah.
not to.
Awesome. Gianna, you want to hop up here real quick?
Yeah, get up here.
Let's interview you.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have Giana here at American Grindstone, YouTuber, and she's going to tell us how to be a YouTuber.
Is she or an aspiring YouTuber?
An aspiring
Yeah.
YouTuber.
Yeah. Let me
Let's
take
do it
that.
again.
Let me
Yeah,
take
you
it
do it
over.
again. That's why he does all this.
I gave you your shot. You blew it. You blew it.
No, I'm
totally
getting
blew it.
fired tomorrow. So
Gianna, welcome to the show.
It's nice being here.
It is nice. It's nice to have you here. How old are you?
I'm 10.
10? It's phenomenal. And I heard that you would like to be a YouTuber at some point.
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit about that. Like, what do you want to do with your YouTube channel?
Well, I kind of want to just make these little things. Like I wanted to do jewelry at first, but then it was like, wow, that takes a while to do one thing. And then it was just little things. And I also really wanted to do what my mom's doing, like shirts and
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah.
But it's I don't have the exact things for me to do it. So
Okay. Your mom doesn't like to share.
no, this is mine. You get
We
your
could-
own thing.
We
No.
could sense that. So you would like to make that stuff, but you would like to film yourself making it and put it on a channel?
yeah.
So it would be like crafts with Gianna,
Yeah.
craft
something.
time.
Yeah.
What would be? Do you have a name for your channel?
No, I don't.
No, not yet.
Well, you do Gianna's jewels,
Ooh.
right? If you do jewelry, right?
Yeah, I was trying to come up with names like that with my name in it, but I just couldn't really figure it
Yeah.
out.
It's hard to think about that, especially when you're trying to come up with idea that you're trying to mix your passion, but also you want viewership, right?
Yeah.
Like for instance, there's that girl. Have you ever seen the girl that takes those squishies and then she'll cut them up and make different squishies out of
yeah.
squishies?
Yeah.
That's cool. So maybe even jewelry where you take something that's already a piece and then you can reconstruct it into a different jewelry.
Like something better.
Something better, yes. Or more, Gianna.
And maybe a great way to do it would be to film yourself getting into your mom's jewelry box and just cutting up that
Yes.
jewelry. Let's just start
Yes.
with that.
start with being like,
Find a
"Can I
pair of
print
earrings
something?"
that look really expensive. Just do that.
Yeah.
Call it Giana's Gems.
Yeah.
Gems with Giana.
And if it's real jewelry too, it's going to be worth a lot more.
Yeah.
So remember that one.
You'll make more money and probably get more viewers.
Yeah.
For sure. Do you sometimes pretend like that you have your own YouTube channel?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, me too. This is all pretend, honestly. Like,
Yeah.
we just make stuff up all the time.
None of this is connected to anything.
What
We're
has been some of the things that you that was funny. I
appreciate
gotta
it.
let
Thank you.
it.
Appreciate that.
Do you pretend like the same kind of channel every time, or do you like to kind of play around with different ideas?
Just like different things, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, have you thought about like a cooking show?
Not really. That's more like what my sister would like to do.
Okay, like
Yeah.
a karaoke channel,
Oh, I could be on that.
a dance channel.
Yeah, I like to dance a lot.
Yeah, I
You
feel
ever
that.
think about doing podcasts?
I don't know.
Well, now, hey, what we got that under the belt though?
Yeah.
A little notch on there.
Well, Giana, I want to tell you, we have a lot of people come on the show that like to do really fun things like you're doing on the side. They like to find something that they're really passionate about. Some of them make it into a job. Some of them just do it for fun because they like to do it. And some people get to do a little bit of both. And so do you feel like you've seen your mom do something that's been inspiring to you to help give you some confidence to be able to do what you're going to do?
Well, I found some of her drawings that she used to do. I also really like art, so I tried to like kind of like make a recreation of it, but
Yeah.
then it's like sometimes it's good, but sometimes it's like not really good.
Okay. But you're trying.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
If you had a drawing that you would like to have on a shirt, you should do that. Work with your mom, and Ryan and I will each order a shirt from you,
Absolutely.
and we'll wear it on the podcast. Is that a good deal?
Sure.
We are all about helping you get your hustle started, sister. So if you got something that you want to do, you should just take a phone and film yourself making it, and then send it over to us. We have a guy that does some editing. He can make it look really awesome.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And also, remember, art's subjective too. So even if you don't think it's the best, I might think it's the best, and so will Chhuon.
I probably won't think it's the best.
No,
I'm
it's
a
the
harsh critic of art.
Send us your wares.
What is the thing that you like to draw the most?
I like to draw like the shapes of like heads, but I don't really do like the faces, like the mouth and the nose and the eyes and stuff.
Like a silhouette?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I also like drawing like just like people, but like they're just like doing a bunch of different things, and like also just doing like these little sketches of things.
I like that too. Like crowds of people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe she should design an American Grindstone shirt with our
Oh.
silhouettes on it.
Would you do that for us?
I could try.
Yeah.
Okay, like long flipped hair, hat.
I'll send your mom some pictures. You can work on
Oh
it.
yeah, if you
Work
do
on it.
that, we'll get that rocking.
Yeah,
we'll get
we
those
should
out.
definitely do those and wear them in the show.
I totally love that.
Yeah.
I will do that.
So, okay, you got to let us know how much it costs, though.
And this is on camera now, so this is gonna happen.
It really
It's just-
happens.
So you can't stop now. You have orders to fill.
That's two. You have 2 shirts. Micah, do you want a shirt?
3. Yeah. We're the
Okay.
3 best friends. Yeah.
Yeah,
3
so
shirts.
3 shirts, but Micah doesn't get his face. Actually, it would be really funny to do me and Ryan's faces on the front and Micah's face on the back.
yes. But it's just the back of his head.
Because he's just in the
Look at
background making everything look amazing all the time.
And hashtag 3 best friends. Right here.
Oh, ooh,
Yeah.
wow.
Just throwing it
There
out.
we go. Well, Giana, thanks for being on our show.
Thank you.
Yep.
You're a pretty cool kid.
Yeah.
Do you have any good advice for us as we wrap up?
Probably to just, even if you don't think it's good and you keep failing, just to push yourself further.
That's good. That's really good
Really
advice
great
for Ryan, who
advice.
keeps failing. Thank you.
Even in this podcast where I'm just like I cry off of every episode and I'm a failure.
It's okay, man.
Thank you, Giana.
Thank you, Giana, for being on the
I
show.
appreciate you. Thank you so much.